So this the third block and fourth block I have to try to review from the next classes in the next sessions. So today I will try to review block 1 and block 2 so that overall idea which are the idea for this review session. Basically those who have missed or somehow not clear the idea objectives is review class basically um, clear the concept, then the knowledge. If any gaps are there, you can fill up the knowledges, and finally some of the points to be highlighted during the class from the exam point of view, which are the areas really important. Students should give a more focus on that particular area from the knowledge point of view as well as from the exam point of view. So that's why the review session is very important. So that whatever you have learned or whatever you have your idea, that now can be clarified based on this. So let's start the unit 1 where we have discussed the compensation and the reward management basically. So first thing is the compensation, the concept. You have to clear what is the concept of this BISWAS. So first thing, before start the things, I have to clarify once again what is the things idea behind it. First things, the compensation policy. The compensation policy, which will be prepared by the organizations, and that policy during the making a policy. So, what are the gross earnings? Basically, what are the gross earnings to be decided based on some of the guidelines? Because if there is no guidelines, you cannot fix the amount for the basic salaries, then DNS allowance and other so many allowances that you cannot fix it. So that's why you have to some of the criteria. You have to fix some of the criteria. So that's why some guidelines is required. Guidelines will be prepared by the management, and during the preparation of the guidelines, again, organization has to see the market, government rule and regulations. Considering all these factors, they have to formulate some of the compensation packages. If the compensation package is good, suppose good compensation package, then definitely it will not only attract the existing employees, but also for the attraction of the outside employees, those are the other companies' employees. So in future, hiring the skilled persons, there will be more chance to get good people from the outer worlds, because your policy is good, your compensation package is good, it is competitiveness. So you have to make in such a way so your compensation package will be number one. Idea behind this should be competitive, and it will affect in the entire organizations. So that is the concept of the compensations. Basically, it is just like a package, money. Basically, you have to pay money. And some of the features will be there. What are the features? These compensation packages. The features are It should be attractive. And prepared in such a way, people can retain, the employee can be retained willingly. There should not be any confusion to leave these organizations at least 4 to 5 years. They can stay. Good turnover, as per the human resource management, the good turnovers basically if the employer retaining around 4 to 5 years, we can say there is a good, healthy organizations. The packages is good. On the cultural point of view, other lot of factors are differently are good factors. That's why the people are retained. Pay. What about the pay? That has to be decided according to their importance, so that giving importance so that they can leave the with their families also smoothly. There will be no problem. Financial problem should not be. And pay should be as per their jobs and their skilled performance basis. So that some moral can be boast of, and the productivity are also to be maintained. And everything else should be simplified. There should not be any complex nature of things. Understand? Policy should be very clean, transparent, and whatever the facilities are at par with the A-grade companies to be provided. Promotion policies, transfer policies are to be fair enough, and definitely some of the costs are also involved. That part definitely organization has to see, and within some your reasonable limits. That should. Above all, legal factor is also there, so that considering all the legal and law of the governments, you follow all the laws. So, and then after that, we try to clear the concept of the program, the compensation program. Now we have the concept we have now discussed. Then what are the features should be there in the compensation. Then now we are coming to the program. You have to make a program for this. So how to formulate it, how to start the program like this? There are two things. One is the direct and indirect. So compensation package can be some of the things are direct. For example, your basic salaries, then your DA, then your overtime. These all are direct. Now, some of the things should be part of your compensation program. That is some of the things that are indirect. Indirect, there are some of your provident fund, then your pensions, then your medical, health insurance, sick leave, child family care, housing, and relocations of the services. These are all these part are, we can say these all are indirect. Now after that we have to definitely some of the development also to be there as per the program, because development, whatever the compensation policy has prepared, may be required some of the development. Some of the area can be modified, can be developed further. That provision should be there. And whatever the functions, and whatever the determinants, what are the parameters, that should be flexible. Time to time, it can be modified or can be changed depending on the external environment or positions, economic conditions. Then you can have it amended, basically for the amended purpose. So that is also a part of the development. Now the functions, compensation functions. So far we have discussed the concept, then the features, then your programs, the policies also we have discussed. Then we're coming to your functions. So plan is also a part of the function. That's one of the function, plan. So proper planning should be formulated for the compensation purposes. So plan is one of the function points. Then criteria. So you have to establish the some of the criteria for the wages and salary. What the criteria? Means some of the standards or maybe the measuring points, parameters. So all are the criteria. So fixed it. And some clarification should be there. Why you are fixing this amount? Why not more or less? That clarification should be there. Yes, it is some of the other companies are giving this way, as per the government law, are declared this way, or worldwide, most of the companies have followed this. So that's some of the criteria based on the whole organization's conditions and product. Considering all the points, you have to fix some of the criteria. That criteria may be different, organization to different, depending on the type of nature of jobs, organization conditions, financial conditions. Then you have to. So criteria is one of the, I can say one of the functions. Now evaluations. What are the jobs to be uh, performed by the employees? That job are really fit for these things or not? Really, the payments are exactly aligned with the job or not? Or whatever the work are involved, skill, brain work, time are really just justifiable or not? Basically, it is really justify this amount or not? So that's why the job evaluations is also important, where you have to fix the wages and the salary. So that determinations are also a part of the during the functions. Now another thing, you have to ascertain or you have to obtain the data for the industry, other industries, um, the rate of the industry rates, so that you can assure, gee, yes, what are the figures, what are the amounts we have fixed for these things. So there should not be any ambiguity, there should be any conflict, there should not be any questionables because everything are uh, by the analysis purpose. By the analysis, it has been fixed. So even in the government rule and regulation, what are the wages, that has to be also analyzed, and it should be aligned with the your compensation plan, whatever the program. Then policy recommendations. The preparation of the policy preparations is also important. This is also one of the functions we can say. Then supervise the maintain records. That is also so. Supervising the all those records is also uh, part of your functions also. So objectives, main objectives are, see the your the policy are really aligned with the business goal, because we should not forget about the our goal of the organization goals. That part is also considered in the mind during the preparation of all this procedure or process, whatever the criteria, whatever the your that rule and regulation policies, everything. Always you have to keep in mind the business goal. What is the business goal set by the top management? That should be aligned with all these things. So promote the team efforts and the unique performance through the compensation policy. These are all are the part of your function and some of the objectives basically. If the question is coming in this way, then you have to write all these things. What are the functions and what objectives should be there. Then beneficial. What are the benefits? If a good compensation policy, then what will be the benefit? The benefit is it will attract and retain the employees. They will be feel happy and reward their based on the merit and performance. What are the merit and base? Some rewards should be there so that they can more motivated. Can some moral support will be there? And what are the legal requirements that also to be considered? The cost and what are the limits are given. So absence of the compensation plans, there. Suppose if the compensation plan is not there or nothing is there, simply company is running, what will happen? That way we can also logically uh, establish the compensation package are really good, is required basically, is needed for the organization. Suppose if for time being we think there is no plan, nothing is there. So everything will be haphazardous. People will be unhappy, there is no targeted things, they don't know what are the promotion, what will go to transfer, what will benefit will be there. They don't know uh, when the salary will be coming or really it will be increased or not. So if the plan is not there, everything will be haphazardous. So, and even it will create some of the source of conflict also, because the frictions and conflict will start if the compensation package is not there. I'm just talking about the other way. If the negativity, suppose how it is benefited. To prove this, we have to see the if the absence of this policy, what will happen. So this is the way we try to understand the things. Now, there are basically three steps of this for the compensations. First things, primary, primary things, and then your incentives and your pay for the performance. So, and then some of the things, your micro level compensation policy is there. Suppose you have to see in very in depth and in detail, so detailing and the micro levels. You have to then definitely it will get the retentions policy, how to strengthen the retentions policies. I mean, so that the employees should not go. So where the tuning, I mean, basically to stay the people of what are the in the package compensation package, what are the things are to be needed more minutely. So in a micro level, you have to see, yes, if we do these things, so people will be stay at least 4 5 years. So that is basically your micro level detailing. Then your consistency. Suppose if we consistency in terms of all productivity, then the skilling or development, everything, if we maintain the consistency, definitely you have to detailing in the micro level, you have to think, you have to define the things. An area has to be identified and accordingly you have to act these things, and that should be included in the compensation packages. Then your the driving force, motivations, integrity is all a part of the things are there, because here actually the major functions of the compensation program and objectives, that part already we have discussed. And then factors also, what are the determinants, then effective compensation of the policy program that we already have uh, discussed in the review classes. Then management responsibility, what are the responsibilities regarding the compensation package in the program, that also we have just now we have discussed. Then micro policy framework, that part actually now I am discussing the micro policies and your micro policy considerations, how to do these things. So everything are in the 7 pay plan and the pay commissions. already taken care, and lot of case studies also there. Um, they have to scrutinize the things, and every time the pay revision times, I am talking about the government sectors, they have to analyze the things in the past, what happened, if the PSUs were not growing growth, or maybe even in the PSU also there are a lot of people are migrated to the other companies in the private sectors. They're going to private sectors. That talent employees are not staying there. So all these how where the area to be more developed, education policies or education allowances, or maybe higher education purposes to leave. Normally, it is the provision is there. 2 years you can take anybody for the higher study, PhD or some doctorate purposes. They can go to the abroad or within India. The 2 years they can take the leave for these things. Maybe some of the allowances will be cut, only the basic, and some of the HRA they uh, will be given by the organizations for the protection of the families. Otherwise, other things will be cut off. But they allow for the 2 years. You can go for the abroad for the higher studies. Your service will be intact, even though it will be coming back. Your seniority will be there. So this is the way. A lot of ways are there to retain the talent peoples. I mean, basically the employees. So many things are there. Even in the Tata or some of the Mahindra Tech, a lot of companies are recruiting the peoples, and finally, then after that, 2 years they can allow for the further studies, masters or something, or PhD. They are giving the full amount of money. They are during the campus interview also from the IITs or IIMs, they are recruiting, and they tell the employees also, okay, you can go to further studies, company will be sponsored everything. So there are a lot of schemes, scholarship schemes are there. So the idea behind is so that the brain training, the talent people should not go out, and at least 5 to 10 years they can serve in the company. So these are all are the finally the that's why the compensation and reward management are very challenging, because it is not a static. It's all are in dynamics things. Policies are changing time to time depending on the situation environment. So now another aspect, and I'm talking that the behavioral issues, because sometimes the money is not a matter, because you cannot everything can get from the money. If we increase the sum of the money or something, maybe still somewhere the unhappy will be there. So that's why in the behavioral studies, a lot of exercises are going on. How to create the happiness, motivate, or so that they can involve more and more. Their role play can be more and more interesting. They can feel some, yes, I'm doing some challenging job. That feelings is required rather than the increase the money. So that the participation basically sometimes it has happened, even though this is a good salary, everything are providing, but he is feeling I'm not feeling the values, because if we allow to participate in the meetings or something, maybe we feel good. Okay, at least management are recognized me. They are allow me to sit with them. I can give some my opinions, my ideas. I can share with the top management. So that is also another part of the motivations. And so this is things are now going on, especially in the throughout the world. That things are studies also going on. In the conclusion that the money can motivate some people under some conditions. In other way, the money cannot motivate all people under all circumstances. Means that's why I said already that money sometimes may not be required also. Required for the associations, respect and regards. It can allow to sit with them. So some things are required for the relationships to be built up more. So, waste theories are economic and the surplus values, then your productivity, then bargaining, demand and supply, purchase power, all are considering in the your all this now in the compensation packages. Then coming to your reward systems. So now coming to some of the you need to here some of the questions can be there in the areas of your what are the public policy considerations in which policies. So let's discuss some of the questions. What type of questions you have to prepare and type of questions, if any, translating the lofty ideals into actions. Another question: why and how pay design should be linked to organizations and the job designs. That is also important because, as I said, the your job design is very important because you should not feel I am overloaded or the work, but otherwise the underloaded means uh, what the my knowledge, why my talent are not utilization, underutilization. You should feel it's an underutilization. I can do more work, but I can take some challenge work, but simple work is provided. So that feeling is also very even though the money is good, the salary is good, but he is feel I'm underutilized. Utilized. My qualification and experience are not utilized by the company. So he will start searching for the other jobs. So that is the so during the pay design, I mean the job design is very important. So you should feel always in some challenges. You should feel interest. Yes, I am also gaining my knowledge is increasing. I am developing myself. So that things are very important. So we link to the things. So what are the silent features of the seventh pay commission recommendations? That is also important. That you can go through the your study materials or you can download it from the websites. There are a lot of things are there. You can go through this type of questions also are coming. Now, economic and behavioral issues also already I have decided the behavioral issue is very important. So a lot of theories are there, and what the way it is related. Another things, ethics. Business ethics is also important because you see the salary should be no ambiguity should not be there because at par with this, if somebody are declared uh, he is the best executive of the year of this company, particularly. So everybody should accept the things. Yes, yes, performed well, and really deserve for that. Everybody will be en masse declared. Yes, this is the best executive package. So some cultural also to be culture should be there, and there should not be any. So ethical matter is also important, and your another thing is your. But that's why the people should be valued. People should be valued, integrated with the HR strategies. Because whatever the HR strategies, there should be integrated of all these things. So compensation package, again I'm telling you, all these things are during the preparation of the compensation package. You have to keep in mind not only the present conditions, future also. Futuristic in the future, where your company will be there. That part also you have to consider, that you have to make a strategy there also, because every time you cannot change your compensation package. Maybe after 5 years or 10 years you have to review and again. So keeping little advance. So considering all these things are to be included in the during the preparation of the compensation package. Health competitions is also important because insurance, it should be a very good amount of insurance policy should be there, medical facility should be there, so that employee can be easily assess the things. They can purchase the medicines as well. They can afford all these things. That purchasing capacity or treatment and all these things are maybe subsidized, or uh, some of the franchisees or some of the aligned, some of the arrangements should be there. Then profitability of the organization is also keeping in mind everything, or business is not a charity, because any business, any organizations definitely have to focus on uh, profit. But before to reach there, that profit definitely have to uh, consider or to see all these things: health of the organizations, health of the employees, then the mindset of the employees, their attitudes, their behavioral patterns, ethical condition, cultural, all are to be considered to run the business. Then now come some of the international. Now I am coming to some of the some of the questions on the economic and the behavioral issues part. Wages are determination for the labor and what basis. So this type of questions coming. Things are available in the study materials, and the question is also answer is also available in the study. If you go through the study materials, definitely you will be get through. Then wage theories, there are a lot of wage theories are there. Policy formulations, macro and micro levels. Then wage rates are not the same as wage cost. So you have to justify these things. Difference between the expectation and the instrumentality. Then compare and the contrast the three content theories of the motivations. Explain the distinction between internal and external equity. Basically, all these things are during the earlier session, uh, blockwise. There it will be explained the things. If you uh, see the previous videos, previous classes, they will get some of the idea. The concept will be clear, and answer is also that time we discuss during the sessions. Now here actually I'm trying to highlight some of the points in the review classes. So clearing the concept, and again I have to try to um, some of the highlight the points which are the area we have to go further study. Now international trends. So here you see the emerging trends, limitation of the job related compensations, and paradox of the performance related compensation and competency based compensations. These all are in the last one. I can say that the competency based compensation are very popular. Most of the companies are adopted. Now see the international trends. So what are the the basic components? What are the basic components? That one is the basic pay. Then some mechanisms of compensation for the loss of purchasing, loss of purchasing power of the money. Then incentive for putting effort beyond the norm of the French benefits. These all are the your component of the your international trades, so that you can smoothly you can function the all this you can do this international trade. Then your rethink, basically the rethink based in present scenario, because what are the traditional systems, it may not be effective. So you have to rethink the things, and the global conditions and the scenarios. Now recently last 2 3 years worldwide, all the companies have now come off. I mean, now they have from the COVID post era is going on. So now 2 years before, the condition was different. But even in the pre-COVID sessions, maybe the another scenario was now it is totally drastically changed globally. So worldwide things are all changed. HR personals are really challenge condition where everywhere all the organizations are rethinking the things, what the way we can perform, and internationally how we can more and more we can have a more market, how to emerge the things nicely from the point of productions and from the quality point of view, and the services. So main thing, the services are also important, and that's why how to train your pupils, considering all the factors, is very challenging. Very challenging things. So right kind of alignment between the compensation packages and the emerging realities of the business. So it is a good thing. So now you have to decide and you have to make some strategy. So how to align the between the things, because one way your compensation package and other way your emerging market, the reality of the business. So where it is the lacking or some of the gaps are there, that has to be fulfilled. For example, suppose for you have some established uh, in other countries, you have tried to establish some of the uh, your business in the internationally the other countries. So definitely you have to prepare accordingly. Your staff should be trained enough. Their local languages they have to pick up very easily. They can familiar with their cultures, and not only the cultures or languages, law of the company, law of the countries. Zero zero. What are the legal process, their law systems? You have to consider all these things so that you can smoothly function, and the trade can be uh, smoothly without any problem. You can run the business. So every country is there different laws, different trading systems are there, different conditions are there. Not only the climatic conditions, other so many aspects are there. So now, and even the behavioral patterns and attitudes also change because of this, all this change. Now people are more oriented about the savings, maybe the future, they're thinking security, health, and how to protect their families. So all these things are they are always thinking in their mind. Maybe earlier it was not there, maybe little. Now they are more concerned about their uh, more savings and the protections of the life, health wise and money wise. So that's why the compensation package for the international trade purposes to be considered all this current scenario, current conditions, current attitudes of the employees, that part of this, so that it can be compensated. So what are their mind is going on, that part, that things are fulfilled. Again, you see the business or any organizations run by the people only, employee only. So if we not think about the employees, how it will grow in the organizations, or maybe for the further international things. Otherwise, if we not these things, the quality will be deteriorate. There will be corruptions will be there. They will start taking the leaves. They will be lazy. So all these factors are to be considered. Simple only basic DA or allowances are giving, it may not be sufficient. You are increasing your salaries, increasing your benefits, and you are expecting more and more work. That part has gone. Some human touch, build the relationships, identify the area where is the lacking, what is the going on in inside the mind. So that's why the managers are required, those who can interact more with the employees to to know their mindset and align with all these things are and prepare the strategy in the HR. So HR role are now very challenging nowadays. So now, so basic salary and performance really to be drastically changes because as per the figure you see the most of the companies increase their hike their salaries, especially in the IT and things because of the online process going on. So at least 10 to 20% salary is hiked, and still further, as per the forecast, as per the study, the salary structure will be reevaluated, and the changes are likely to be made. Most of the companies are thinking that way. Flexible timing online and offline are still there because some of the employees are already habituated. They are feeling, okay, I'm happy with these things. I can look after my family also, and I can uh, like this. Some people are opted for the go to the deal because they are not feeling that friendly atmosphere is not there in the home. Maybe there are some constraints are there, so they are willing to go to thing. So that both the options are company has given. So that idea is to employees should be happy. What are the way they can do? They can do it, but productivity should not be uh, by the that cannot be considered. Uh, that cannot be compromised because productivity is also should be there. Then only whatever the way you can work, do it. So that type flexibility are providing by the companies. The global business are definitely challenging. In the workplace also, it is changing accordingly. The requirement much greater depth and the breadth of the skills of the abilities because your skilling, your abilities has to be improved. Only not only the improved, it should be at par with the global companies would see, other companies would see. Because you are skilled enough, 10 years you are skilled particular things. Now the diversification, maybe the multitasking are very important because one things you are master and other things you are don't know much. You have a different tasks. All the tasks you can perform depending on the situations. You have to be capable to do these things. That scaling is required. So multitaskings are very important. So you cannot stick in particular one skill, maybe another two, three software skills, maybe the computer operations, maybe your some of the expertise in the Excels or something, or the vegetation. So what are the way you have to? So multi-dimensional things are to consider in the mind. Then only you can survive. Your pay package will be more. Management will be happy. They can replace you uh, any times as per their requirement is they can put you and your service will be intact, you will be retained, and your retrenchment and all these things will not be considered. Before retrenchment or downsizing, company will decide, okay, maybe he can put in the other areas. So that's why the skill is required. Sometimes the company is giving you some skilling facilities, development, training development is there. Even though all the employees are also think, yes, this is the part I know, I can do it. So do it fast. Other things. So then you'll be secure, your service will be intact. And by the time company is also happy. So it is a vice versa. Both the way you have to think. The companies also think for the employees, and then the employees also think for the how I can better for the company, I can contribute to the company, and as well as from the my developments also. So for this secure life. So another things your concept of the competencies competencies also required as a competency based compensation I'm talking about where you see so you have to develop your competence. So organizations has to see from this steering process through this way how to develop the employees skill, basically the skill development purposes. So historical feedback systems are there. Based on this, you can identify, and the area can be fulfilled by the due course of time, through this training program or counseling, through the counseling, or maybe so many other way. You can job relocations, job changings. There's so many ways you can build up the competency things. And maybe because of that, you have to give some compensation also. If you are competent enough and skilled enough, some reward system should be there. Yes, you are skilled enough. Some reward, some certificate you have to provide. You can give it some one-time lump sum money. Yes, you have performed or you have certified these things. You're skilled enough. Now take this money for your. So this is the way you have to give it. Or the productivity link compositions also can be provided, because if you productions without any error, without any something particular 1 month, you have production without errorless, and your quality everything there. So you can be awarded for this some productivity link amount also to be provided. At least profit persons are also there, as well as for the individual performance. So both the things can be considered in the compensation. So then comprehensive well-being program. Another thing is a comprehensive. Again, now before that, I can some of the assessment questions from the unit number 4, international trends. How is the competency-based pay approach better than the traditional approach? So you have to compare it, traditional approach and the competency-based approach, which are the better and how it is better. So you have to make a tabular form, or otherwise you can use a point-wise 1, 2, 3.4, whatever the points you can write it. Give a brief overview of the international trends in compensation and reward management. So you have to start what are the traditional systems, and then the scenario pre-COVID, what happened, and after the post-COVID era, what is going on and what type of things are going on. So everything you have to briefing the things. It's maybe 10 marks question or 20 marks questions. So you have to write, and you have to give some example also. You can give some of the companies which they are adopted, what type of reward systems for basically trend is going on. So that also you can add as a example purposes. How do you evaluate the contributions of an employee? And is the competency-based model ideal in all situations at all times? If no, why? Because competency-based model it is successful. Most of the places it is applicable, and it is already applied. Most of the companies are doing based on most of the PSUs, or some of the I can quote some of the things, NTPC, the Power Gate, most of the power companies, they are competency-based model have already adopted, and a lot of enough money they are getting the employees. Apart from their salaries, maybe the production link compensation they are getting as allowance, maybe 4%, 5% of the things. Apart from basic, DA and other allowances, apart from this, another part that is a company-based through these things, the link, production link amount are also getting. So, and the motivation and your productions are also increased because of this. So that part you have to explain. Now, before going to this part, I can say some of the comprehensive well-being program. When your the anxiety, because you see the during the COVID or Corona time, Corona disease time, the pandemics. So there are a lot of anxiety and the stress due to pandemic time, because most of the people are also panic for that. Maybe that is continue because of still it is an under lot of people are under treatment. Health wise is also people are thinking that maybe the health deteriorated or some things. So that trauma, that dilemma are still in the mind. So proper HR analysis analytics are there. Proper HR analytics will to identify the things and to develop the things people so that they can make uh, strategy should be there so that they can overcome the situations as early as possible. Those who have already overcome, well, very good, congratulations to them. And those who are not still surviving, still problems, to motivate them and to survive. What are the way HR analytics are duty to identify the things those employees are to be targeted and try to develop the things. So post-COVID era, basically the average salary increased. It is undoubtedly everywhere it has increased, and other parts also. And health allowances are most of the companies now they started. Maybe earlier it was there some of the company, but now they have to revise the things. Maybe a lot of other diseases are included in their insurance plan. And the new companies, those are earlier it was not there. They have already, by the directives of the government and the law, as per the law, now they have it has also been included. So most of the technology and consumer sectors are implemented. Most of the things. The 10% as per the survey report, there are at least around 10%. They are offering the increase the salaries, and some of the places at least 9% to 10%. They are offering the allowances also, and some of the companies are giving those who are in the online or something free Wi-Fi connections. They are giving. They are already reimbursed by the company, and even in the utility bills, electric bill or something, uh, also company are providing. So this is the way the lot of facilities are, or rather we can say the allowances are given by the company like this. Now legal framework, I'm copying something. Legal framework, nothing here. Simply, it is a the fixation of the wages by the by the government law. What are the laws has frame out the things? This much basic should be there. Cannot reduce the money. The compensation is also declared. I mean, already. I mean, the depicted in the laws in the law. So company has to follow. Then the contract of the employment. Now the contract of the employment are changing now. New contract during the joining of the company. The different contracts are there where what are the facilities, allowances are declared. Maybe there are 3 pages, 4 pages, not only single one pages. That employer should know what are the facilities, what are the things. The contract, it will be written everything, so that the employee should know at the time of joining which company I am joining, what are the facilities they are providing, everything are in the contract. They have to retain the things. So six broad area. So there are six broad area for your framework are been said it. That the statutory minimum wages, that how much uh, salary should be. Then your base subsistence, what are the subsistence should be there. Then the living wages, what are the living wages then your fair wages, because so that they can survive the what are the prevailing market rate. I mean, so they can survive the things. And some of the points is also I may have highlighted psychological aspect and ethical aspect of the wage determinations, so that it should not be any ambiguity or differences. Okay, his salary is getting the more salary, I'm getting the less salary. My level is different, maybe in the same qualifications. So that ethical balance should be. So there should not be any distinguish between the things. So it should be so that all the employees will be happy and teamwork. They can work as a teamwork, as a team, same level, same type of salary, same facilities. So it will be created some of the bonding. Otherwise, conflict will start if any differences are there. Then government also interferes in deciding the wages, because the government is also interfering, because if the something is wrong is going on in a particular in organizations, if the pay package are not at par with the law, so definitely government is also intervening this, or even in the union can also go to the court. Things are not at par the labor law or something. So that is also there. So organizations should take care of all these things. Some ethical aspect is has to be considered. Then fairness are also to be there, so that there should not be any problems. No exploitations, because there should not be any exploitations there. So, that type of feelings that should not be tried for these things. No discriminations. There should not be any discriminations of the wages, and some of the corporate compensation policies should be there, so that they can allow for these things. They can enjoy the corporate life and do the rest, so that they can perform their role also as a corporate personals. So job evaluations also important to do these things. Some of the relevant questions are there in this thing. Yeah. What factors go to the determination of the pay? Then explain the economic and sociological principles. Then your area of the are wages determined only on the basis of the demand or supply of the labor. Discuss the role of productivity and the bargaining power of the trade unions relating to wage fixations and all these things. So this is the way type of questions are normally coming in the legal framework part, and so should be fair and minimum wages should be there. So considering all these things are definitely by the law of the labor law, so that the employee should be happy enough. So okay, thank you very much. This for these sessions, and we can meet in the next sessions for in other review purposes. Thank you.